man Gene up because this guy too, come on Gene. This guy too is a self-published author, and I met him 2 years ago and I wrote, he was one of the first people to go on my book, maybe like one of the first 10. And now he's writing his own book. I mean, he wrote his own book, and I wanted to speak to you guys to inspire you guys, because he's young too, and he's independent, doing it on his own. They'll get him from Coco and Breezy, D and Ricky's, Wiz Khalifa's, all in the same bracket. So I want you to listen to his story 2 seconds. Hopefully he's going to inspire you too.
Well, first, my name is Clervil. But first, can we give it back to Great Scott?
No.
My name is Clervil, aka Mr. Changing Lives. My brand is to change lives, and my mission, my sole mission, is to inspire the lives of millions directly and indirectly by sharing my own story and showing people how to discover their own potential. Now, the main key thing that I want to share with you guys today is that you have to make a decision. You got to make a decision on what you want to do. Raise your hand if you have a dream in the group. Talking to the right people. But today, I don't want you guys to leave here today without making the decision that I know what I'm going to do and I'm going to go towards it. And even if I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that decision to find out. Because a lot of people, they don't pursue the careers that they want to pursue because they don't believe it'll make a lot of money. But in my story, my gifts made room for me. I just graduated college, bachelor's in marketing and sales, and I'm currently working on my MBA, which is my millionaire's bank account, which pretty much means school. But during college, I was broke like every other college student, but I was hungry. I knew there had to be a better way. I always wanted to be wealthy because I once heard that a great man brings wealth to 3 generations. So I wanted to accumulate wealth not only to the generation before me, my mother, my parents, my generation, but the generations to come. So I always had that hunger, but I didn't know exactly what I was going to do to, accumulate that wealth. But I knew that my gifts were to inspire people, and it wasn't until I was performing poetry and I saw people break down, and I actually broke down performing it, that I knew that I had a gift, that death and life lies in the power of the tongue. So while I was broke in college, I was in poetry. Poetry was a hobby of mine. So I was going to open mics, and more open mics I would go to, people would say, oh, you should write a book. You should write a book. So it wasn't until like the 100th time that I heard that, you know what, I'm going to actually write a book. So my junior year in college, I took all the money I had into publishing a book of poetry called Real Life in My Hands, and I call it that because I believe anybody can relate to a poem in the book. So while I did that, I was completely hungry, but I want to tell you guys that even though you make that decision, there will be challenges throughout the way. I invested every dime I had into the book, but when you self-publish, you have to have money to actually order the book and do like book signing. So I invested all my money into the book, but I had no money to actually order copies of the book.
Me too.
So I'm scrambling. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do this. I got people waiting. I'm building a buzz on social media, and people want the finished product, but I didn't have it. So my friend always wore buttons, pinback buttons, and I always would support him. And then it wasn't until one day I was in college and I was looking in the student center, and I looked at his button. I was like, whoa, a light bulb went off. That was intuition telling me something. I also heard one thing, that prayer is talking to God, but inspiration is God talking back to you. So once you made that decision, you have to listen to I always say respect your intuition, because that's an inside voice in you that is striving for you to turn that dream into a reality. So after I had that idea that, oh, I should come out with my own button with my quote, but not only my own quote, but a quote from the book, so I could tie 2 and 2 together. So people would wear this button, be inspired, and then they want to buy the book. So the pen would be the single on the radio, and the book would be the album. So that's the marketing scheme that I had in my head. So I picked one quote. It was between numerous quotes, but the quote I picked was, "A person doesn't die when he or she reaches the grave. They die when their dreams do." So I put that on the button, and then I ordered a few copies, and then my friend, it was a Saturday morning, and my friend sent me a text saying, "Oh, do you want to go to the mall?" I wasn't doing nothing. I said, "Sure." Went to the mall. Before I went to the mall, he texted me saying, "I'm outside." I went outside, and I see I ordered 50, just like a test run of the pens, and my intuition again told me, yo, just put it in your pocket and go. So I put 50 pens in my pocket, and I went to Short Hills Mall. It was around Christmas season. I went to Short Hills Mall. We were leaving Apple, and as I'm walking, I look behind me, and I see Amber Rose. I'm like, oh. Anywhere. So then I'm like, oh, I actually brought the buttons. So I approached her, and then I told her about the buttons, and she was excited that she wanted one. And then this one blew my mind. She said, "Oh, can you put it on me?" I was like, "What?" So it took me at least like 15 minutes. I'm poking. So I did that, and then I took a picture and I put it on social media, Twitter and Facebook. And that weekend, that was a Saturday night. By Monday, I sold out of pins, and I built a demand And then after meeting Amber Rose, it built the brand. So it was Amber Rose. Then I got a picture with Spike Lee wearing it, Al Sharpton, Jay Sean, Tiana Taylor, Stephen Hill from BET, Eddie Griffin, and the list just kept continuing because I had that idea. I made a decision that I'm gonna inspire people and become wealthy at the same time. That was my goal. But if I never made that decision, that would have never happened. And then I'm like, I'm gonna completely take over social media. So even on Twitter, I decided to tweet a quote out to people. So one Sunday, I tweeted a quote out to Rev Run, and 13 minutes later, he retweets it and has my name on it. I'm like, what? And he had like over 2 million followers at the time. So I'm like, what? This quote is really inspiring people. So after I did that, I started tweeting out to all the celebrities I follow. So after he tweeted it, it was Russell Simmons, then Pharrell, the Funkmaster Flex, and then Tony Robbins retweeted the quote. Now, anybody here know who Tony Robbins is? He's like the #1 life coach like in the universe. So when he retweeted it, it stuck out to me because that's a guy that I like study his material. So then he did it, and then 2 months after that, Oprah retweeted the quote. Now once Oprah retweeted it, listen, my iPhone had a seizure. I couldn't even take a screenshot because people kept following me, retweeting things. And at the time, she had like 10 million followers. So just take 10% of 10 million. I had over 100,000 people hitting me up saying, "Oh, that's a great quote, awesome." And it was till then that I knew that I had a gift with words, and that all tied in with the book and things of that nature. So the message that I want to leave with you guys today is that you have to make a decision. Clarity is power. Not just saying you want enough. More money is not enough. You got to be clear, because you can come here today and say, "Oh, I want more money." You leave the building, you find $1, on the sidewalk, your wish just came true. But if you are clear and specific about what you want, I was clear, so I made a decision that I want to inspire millions, and then everything started going into place. But I just want to leave you guys with a poem that the quote on the pin is from, and it's from my book. It's called The Wealthiest Place on Earth. Let me tell you of a place where abundance occupies the space. It's not in Africa where you can find diamonds. It's not in the Far East where there is oil. Yet it is placed deep within nature's soil. A place where there are enough resources to leave legacies. But since none of them were acted upon, they are now history. The wealthiest place on earth is the cemetery, where the world's greatest ideas, talents, and abilities lay buried. See, potential is only energy standing still. But for those who let fear overcome their will, like their bodies, their dreams remain still. Many believe that they can tiptoe through life to gain a sense of security, but in fact they risk nothing, and that's the greatest jeopardy. Do not let your impulse to dream die. Do not let your right to wealth be denied. A person doesn't die when he or she reaches the grave. They die when their dreams do. A person doesn't die when he or she reaches the grave. They die when their dreams do. I'd like to thank Rick Scott for having me here, and God bless you. Good dreams from all this stuff.
Follow you on Twitter, Gene.
At Gene Clervil.
At Gene Clervil.